So just want to make a post analysis on the odds Swiss franc. Overall, it's the odds moving. Um, Beginning of this month, we had we had interest rates, but they didn't move anything. They stayed the same. Uh, what's the first right here? And they didn't really do much to move anything. And then that same week, I believe we had NFP. Also didn't move the market. Non-farm payrolls was actually worse. And we had a whole almost 2 week period where it's just we're having this two-sided market kind of environment and setting up started to set up for CPI. CPI was the one who moved it, and this was this week, May 15th, on a Wednesday at 8:30. It actually lowered, which means commodities up and safe havens are down. And that was really the tone of the market before, you know, started to set up to start trending, and more really like a safe haven versus uh, commodity. And so CPI that came around this, or where are we at? Right here, May 15th. And I started to see across the odds on the daily. Started with my daily analysis. So this has we're gonna read it like this, and this is this has happened in a lot of the odds. It's just certain, maybe like three or four that I was looking at and very interested in. That includes the euro odd and the pound odd. So we have this whole cell that was digested completely up until here. Actually, right here was my seller. Got digested completely. They started to hold. They had sort of a FOMO stop hunt before going. And if we go down to the precision time frame, which is a 1 hour, we can see the whole thing. And we had this whole digestion above. On the 4 hour, I believe you can see it actually. Where is it? The 1 hour, the 4 hour. Yes, I mean the whole point was this whole thing was digested, and I was looking for the hold, and you could see it here in the 4 hour. You can see this seller coming in, seller coming in, seller coming in, buyer's attempt, buyer's attempt, buyer's attempt, and store owner can no longer give a discount. It's not until here where we have that money spot and it takes off. We can clearly see this here. It's as if it's a 1 hour refresh. Now, what we call this is an eclipse, and it just worked out perfectly. And another thing too is I understand that eclipses don't happen all the time. This is just a really good opportunity that the market presented, and um, and they don't happen all the time. And if they do happen, I have to be able to read the whole market very well. That includes volume, that includes digestion, that includes holding, who's not holding. Um, so yeah, we could see the same thing here on was it this yeah on Euro odd, but this one actually didn't wasn't the best one. Why do I say that? Because if anything, this was my last seller. He didn't hold below him and continue. Sorry, my last seller, my last buyer. This was my last buyer. He didn't hold, continue down. He, as a matter of fact, got taken out, but they came in aggressively. Aggressively. They didn't hold. They actually held above support resistance before turning around and actually going. So that automatically, I did take a loss here in this one, but just that hold period was not so well. Um, that could have been avoided if I was a little bit more patient, allowing CPI to come out, allowing to see if they digested the whole thing. Not only digest the whole thing, but a hold. And I have that basically my mantra at the moment, which is digest, hold, hashtag, hashtag, digest, hashtag, hold. And we can see the same thing here on pound odd. It's happened the same thing. Actually, I want to show you guys something on the euro, but we'll go back to it in a second. So right here, CPI came in, but didn't hold. Didn't give me that hold before going. So even though these were very interesting, they weren't giving me that hold. It was only that. So if we go down to back to the okay, so let me show you the euro odd. For the euro odd, I actually might make this video a three and a two series, two part one, part two. So for this, I had let's mark CPI day. So this was CPI, and we had this sort of A formation. We have the 10th, 1, 2, 3, digest the whole thing. Now we go back to the 1 hour, but even the 1 hour didn't completely hold below him. And if we want to see the details on the 5 minute, I believe, yeah, you can't really. This is very aggressive. Definitely can't see in the 15 minute where that last seller was holding, should have been holding. So let's go back to Audchf franc. Another thing with this one, it didn't hold, but like I said, it was just perfect for like a 1 hour refresh, sort of like an eclipse. So I traded this as a 1 hour refresh. Last guy got taken out. We didn't hold. Now that doesn't mean we can't trade this, and it is tradable because understanding that CPI came out with a direction, and I took it at a loss here, I believe. Yeah, it was here, and then I'm looking at the 5 minute for the money spot, and so this is basically a sort of like a primary, secondary, and the moment that this secondary fails, gives me a half moon pattern, takes him out, and actually holds, that's when we're able to enter and ride this. Now, I didn't exit. I actually got stopped out completely at break even. But knowing that this edge is a secondary edge, I should have just taken my profits once it started to range. I was kind of hoping this would continue, but it didn't. It being a secondary didn't allow me to do that because it never truly had the 1 hour never really had a stop hunt, and that's crucial because that's crucial for the 1 hour to have a stop hunt so it could continue going on because they never got filled. Um, this guy never held and continued. This guy actually just they went right through him, and the 1 hour never got a stop hunt, and this is the stop and coming in with the W pattern, and I re-entered here at this area, understanding the fact that this move was caused by negative news on the odd. I believe it was unemployment for the odd. And usually what happens is for the stop hunts to truly work and be effective, there has to be some kind of news that comes out being negative against the tone of the market, basically opposing the tone of the market, and that's when everybody gets stopped out at break even, and it creates this W pattern just to continue on its way. And sometimes it's news like these that you understand the tone of the market, but you start questioning why did it even do that when the tone of the market is a lot stronger than just Australian unemployment news. And this is evidence of it playing out. And as you can see, it just continued. It continued. I started taking profits here, so not a bad trade. Also, my TP came from the daily, which was here. My second TP was all the way up here, and it looks like it's reaching that area. But it even where I took profit was not bad at all because I did get my R's. I got 7 R's out of that, and then I would have gotten a lot more R's, but it didn't even reach my area where market closed on a Friday. So even then, I probably would have taken some percent off and just left like 25% running here. Now I was expecting a second leg because of the volume, but it's kind of hard to say if this was the leg or this was the leg. But honestly, I maybe this was the leg because maybe he got a maybe he got a reasonable discount, 40% discount almost. Yeah, a 40% discount before continuing. Maybe that's where I should be able, or I should start reading my legs from. Now, I'll I will most likely make another video on the euro odd trade that has to do with this